Hey,
Hey
Felix.
Colin, how are you?
I'm
It
good,
is an
Felix.
honor to talk to you
It's an honor to talk to you, man. How are you?
about what I consider the best series of this year so far, at least my favorite so far. It's a great project. Let me
Thank you.
start by saying one of the main characteristics of the noir genre is the blurred line between the good and evil,
Yeah.
and that is the morality of the characters is constantly questioned. However, there's a lot of this in this series. One thing we are sure is the humanity of your character. He's a guy with good intentions. But so I was wondering what was the main challenge of not falling into the cartoonish kind of good guy, waiting in his flaws to create a balance so important in the story.
Yeah, it was all thanks, man, for your kind words. It was all laid out really in script form. I mean, I attached myself to the show before the 8 episodes were done. There was, I think, 2 episodes were written. So I knew what the characters' foundation was, and I knew the beginning of the case that unravels as the story unfolds. But I didn't know exactly the depth of uncertainty that a man who
Mm-hmm.
is so clear at the start of who he is and how he operates in the world, how he would become unclear about his own motivations and his own behaviors as the story unfolds. So I just followed the breadcrumbs, just followed the trail, and just tried to stay as present as possible. But it was the thing that I was drawn to and loved most about the character was how clearly defined his moral compass was at the beginning of the film. And it's not that his moral compass ever goes off, but he does get involved in things that do have him question his own morality and his own intentions. And they were fun waters to swim in.
I love it. I agree 100%. Something that I really liked about this series also was the integration of scenes or clips from classic films.
Yeah.
They were used more as a reflection of the characters' thoughts. So, as a producer, how much did you contribute to that aspect of the series, or to the selection of the clips? Zero.
Big fat
Okay.
zero, man. Big fat zero. That was all done. I
Excellent.
was off. I was somewhere else doing already walking in another man's shoes by that point. No, that was. I have to give massive credit to the editors, of course, on the piece, and Stutz, and also Sam Catlin and Audrey Chon, and they really imbued the show with a sense of time and place by pulling scenes from films from long ago, decades ago, and interjecting those moments and those little clips into the scenes that we shot. And it does seem to give the show a kind of a sense of urgency, but also a sense of context. And it seems to also acknowledge the tropes, of that genre, and acknowledge that this is the world that we're inhabiting, a world of mystery and a world of duplicity and a world of deceit and greed and ambition and all those things that we find at the center of the noir genre as a means to tell a story.
So this is not your first foray into the noir genre. Minority Report, As the Dust, True Detective. What is your favorite neo-noir film? And as a producer, if you got any inspiration from any of one of them for this series?
Um, Maybe Murder My Sweet, maybe with Dick Powell. But loads, like so many good ones. The Big Sleep, and I love Mitchum and anything. So Farrell, My Lovely, and Maltese Falcon is hard to beat. There are so many. Um, the Long Night with Elliot Gould, so many. And I knew that
Okay.
we were, in telling the show, we were honouring and also drawing from decades of this as a genre. But again, it felt like in reading it that there was a new approach to it, or a new aspect, and it was, of course, the central character, Sugar, and his kindness, his tenderness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
his
Excellent.
lack of jadedness.
Yeah.
Often the characters in noir, whether it's Bogart or Powell or Mitchum or whoever it may be, Gould, they're often jaded. They're often a little bit damaged by the
I
work
agree.
that they've
Yeah.
been embroiled in. And this character, certainly at the
Absolutely.
start of the show, wasn't. He had this optimism, he had this kind of connection to human beings, and his belief that human beings fundamentally are good, and that's obviously a questionable opinion to have, of course, when we look around the world that we all share. But that was the thing that kind of drew me to it, you know.
Okay, thank you so much. My time is up, Mr. Colin Farrell. Thank you again, and
Thanks,
looking
Felix.
forward for your next project, specifically the Penguin series. So thank you again.
Thanks,
Have a great
Felix.
day.
You have a good day, man.